Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we are very honored to have uh, none and others, Professor Datuk Sri IR Dr. Zaini Ujang, the keynote address for the second keynote address. And I think for time constraints, because we want him to present at his own time, and we want everyone to participate later or during the discussion. And I will not read his profile. You can find it from the booklets, from the program book. But I think what is important here is he would address on the eco shift, Islamic ecosophy towards environmental sustainability. And with that, I would like to call upon Prof. Zaini Ujang.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. First of all, I would like to say Alhamdulillah for this opportunity to be here. And I would like this session to be interactive. You don't have to sleep. If you feel that you want to sleep, fall asleep, please raise your hand and ask one stupid question. Okay, so I will respond to you. I'm not sure about your background of participants here. I try to understand. Anyone from environmental studies or engineering or management, please raise your hand. Allah 3 orang, yang 4 orang. So the rest are people from Islamic studies, I guess. Betul? Tolong angkat tangan. Agriculture, Islamic studies. Seorang ya? 2 orang? So it's very diverse group that I'm facing, but this is something that I would like to share. It means that I have to do a lot of explanation on terminologies, and not only that, I have my brother Fazlun here. He will correct me later if I'm naughty. Okay. Okay. What is ecosophy? Anyone? Ecosophy. Ini belajar terminologi dulu sebelum kita buat benda-benda lain. What is ecosophy? Anyone? Yeah, it is ecological philosophy. So we call it ecosophy. Unlike environmental policy, environmental or ecological philosophy are action-based. It's not policy-based. It is something very close to everyone, whether your ecosophy is good or not. Yeah. So this is something I'm going to talk about today. So at the end of this presentation, I hope that you understand 3 things. 1, what SDGs all about, Sustainable Development Goals. Number 2, what's our roles as Muslim. And the third one is not only roles, action. What is needed? Balik ni boleh buat benda ni. So tak nak dengar kita cerita tentang rahmah alamin daulah balik, buat apa? Tak ada apa. Baguslah ceramah dia tadi. Saya tak tidur. Makanan sedap dekat ais tadi. Yeah? That's what we get if we are not able to act upon it. So I hope at least dalam presentation saya ni 5 perkara yang kita boleh buat. Balik ni boleh buat terus. Kat sini boleh buat terus. Yeah? So this is something that I would like to address. So give you some background. When I was VC of UTM in 2008, I was appointed as well as chairman of Environmental Quality Council. And this is the highest body in Malaysia in regards to environmental policy. Before the policy can be tabled to, say, for example, to Parliament, Environmental Quality Council must vet through and get people to understand and to agree upon. So I was there, and at that time, my framework was policy. Apa saja cerita pasal policy. I mean, this is what we want to do. We want to have a good policy, and then with good policy, we drive the country towards betterment. So in my mind, the way to change people is to change policy. In my mind. And this was in 2010, okay? After completing my terms as Vice Chancellor, as Chairman of Environmental Quality Council, and I was KSU, or Secretary General of 3 ministries for 5 years, I said, no, good policy means nothing. And I said, what is important is cultural transformation. People must be able to change culturally. It's not change legally, but change culturally. And it requires public participation. Apa benda kita nak buat, whatever you want to do, public participation is paramount. Without public participation, forget about any policy. And this is the book that I have written about a year ago, and this book is, alhamdulillah, this book is good. I'm traveling around the globe now with this book, okay? People from MIT, from many places in the world, Imperial College, invited me to talk about this. I was in United Nations recently because they would like to understand what brings me to talk about EcoShift. And people ask, okay, good concept, good policy, can you show me where this can be learned from, conducted? So I said, go to Japan. And I wrote a book. This book was published early this year in January. I spent my sabbatical last year in Japan. And it is Japanese Ecosophy. All these books are available di luar. Yeah? You can get free signature, but you have to pay. This book is belong to UTM, it's not me. Whatever you pay, 100% goes to UTM. So please accept other books. And I'm finishing another book, Letters on Scandinavia, from cycling to sustainability, with my colleague Gustav Olsson. So this is the journey, intellectual journey that I've gone through, and I would like to share this journey today with you. Okay, from environmental management perspective, after World War II, sustainability can be divided into 4 phases. Phase 1 is prior to 1970s, and during that time, it is sporadic. Episodes of pollution occurred in many places. In New York, there was a river burn, fire on river because of methane available. Methane is a kind of gas that generated from sewage, from degradation of organic materials and aerobically. Yeah. Ni kan, I don't want to be too detailed in that. Tak faham tanyalah. Ya. Saya ada anak. Sekarang ni saya ada cucu lah. I think I'm the second oldest here. He's the oldest. He's 87 years of age. I'm 54. The Mufti was my junior, 52. Yeah, just now. He looks older than me by 10 years. Mengata orang tak ada yang tak apa kan. Kita saja. Tengok tuan-tuan ni serius sangat. Why so serious? Yeah. That's very important. If you go to places like Japan, there was a Minamata disease at that time. And this is all prior to 1970s. And people realized, hey, stop. We have to do something. And started in the United States. During that time, they introduced a new law called Environmental Protection Law. And in Malaysia in 1974, apa saja yang berlaku di United States, in the UK, for example, we learned from them and we brought back. Environmental Protection Agency in the US and the UK, and in Malaysia we have Jabatan Alam Sekitar in 1974. Akta Kualiti Alam Sekeliling 1974. Akta, macam-macam akta is all started in 1971, 72, 73, 74. It's all in the 70s, new departments created. Yeah, Department of Perhutanan, you name it, Saliran dan sebagainya, all started in 1970s. So if I put that way, prior to 1970s, there's a lot of things happening, uncontrolled. The framework at that time was called end of pipe. You nak tahu apa benda yang berlaku, cari pipe di bawah, di luar pipe tu macam-macam. Kalau kita nak tengok air pollution, you find stack, and then you can see a lot of emissions from it. So wherever you find stack or you find pipes, you can see a lot of emissions. And then in 1970s to 1990, this is the growth of what we call environmental management and policy. I was raised, I was educated during that time. You can see that when I did my master's in England um, in 1980. When was that, Fazlun? I met you 19, 19 probably 89. Yeah, 89. In England, the course that I attended was MSc in Environmental Engineering. 5 years before that, the course was called MSc in Sanitary Engineering or Public Health Engineering. You can see the difference between that because the focus at that time was environmental control. So you call it environmental engineering, environmental control engineering, something like that. But after I became professor, the same department, 80% the subjects that they are teaching is almost the same. The course was called Masters in Environmental Risk Management or Environmental Risk Engineering. Almost the same course, almost, with some adjustment here and there. And what are the adjustment? The adjustment is not relying so much on regulatory framework. It is more systemic. Instead of learning what is new law to be enacted, we were talking about ISO 14,000. ISO macam-macam ISO baru. ISO is not compulsory, but it is good. You can sell the products if ISO is complied. Yeah. So this is where we at that time we call clean technology framework. And now people are talking about carbon footprint. If you talk about single environmental control, it is not sufficient. Therefore, when Dr. Azam asked me to speak, hey, Dr. Azam, where are you going? To speak about river pollution, I said, Azam, river pollution is one minor thing. Yeah. Now we are talking about carbon footprint. We can talk about river pollution from carbon footprint point of view. Yeah. So the underlying principle, the denominator is carbon footprint. What is the carbon footprint for me to come here? What is the carbon footprint while sitting here? If you take a lot of food, we use a lot of electricity here, our carbon footprint is higher. Yeah? And the governance is no longer regulatory. The governance is self-lifestyle or value-driven. And the framework is holistic. Nak cerita tentang river pollution, water pollution, you have to talk about carbon, you have to talk about transportation, blah, blah, blah. Why? Because it is interconnected. So this is holistic. This is an issue. When we talk about holistic, it is lifestyle, gaya hidup, way of life, yeah, nizamul hayah, system of life. And it is no longer engineering or regulatory framework. So this is where we are now. So I'm going to present to you today the importance of this framework. Kena faham ni dulu. And this you can read in EcoShift book ataupun buku Japanese Ecological, clearly indicated. So what environmental policy can do is up to sustainability point 3, version 3, phase 3. The rest is ecological philosophy or ecosophy. You require a good ecosophy. So my topic today is environmental philosophy from Islamic perspective. Okay. Those who want to become a Nobel Prize winner, you have to learn this very, very easy. You need 4 pens, 4 colors, and then you can draw. You can win Nobel Prize. This diagram won a Nobel Prize in 2007. Yeah, by IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So what does it mean by this graph? This graph shows before the year 2010, the rise in temperature is very obvious with reference to pre-industrial revolution. It's about 100 or 200 years ago. Yes, you can see. And then it steadily increased. And suddenly, if you are not doing anything, the red graph, the red line will occur. Why? Because this is when people started using a lot of energy. You need a lot of power to do many things. Yeah. If we do something, we can curb at 3 degrees C above pre-industrial revolution. And as what required by SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, we want to keep it less than 2 degrees C. So this is the principle. And they have done a lot of calculation, and this calculation done for more than 20 years. If you do research on this for 20 years, just doing this, and not 2 or 3 people, more than 1,000 people working on it. And impossible, they make major mistakes. I'm saying that they can make mistakes, but impossible, they can make major mistakes. Okay, this is local pollution. You localize, it will remain there. And then we have regional pollution. It will be polluted in that area. Regional, say for example, Klang Valley is polluted. Southeast Asia is polluted. So that maintained. Then there is also global pollution. And global warming is beyond that. Yeah? So if I give you an example, Sungai Kim Kim is very isolated. If you want to talk about Sungai Kim Kim, it is very little case for us to consider. Why? Because bottles that you are throwing and not properly collected and disposed will be there, and during rainy season, it will go to the drainage system. And it will go to small stream. It will go to tributary of a river. It goes to a river, and then finally it goes to a sea. And then it will be floating, and the tidal wave send them to Japan. And tuna will eat them, and Japanese will suffer because they eat sushi. So it is not localized. It will be transported to other places. Therefore, Japanese, when they come to Malaysia, they will see something on the street, they pick it up. Why? Because this might end up in Japan. So you must remember that. Yeah. So this is the nature. So let's understand this surah. In Surah Ar-Rahman, ayat 5 and 8, A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Asy-syamsu wal qamaru bihusban wan najmu wasyajaru yasjudan was samaa'a rafa'aha wa wada'al mizan alla tadghaw fil mizan. I would like the English translation. It is more precise, I think. You can see that the translation. The sun and the moon move by precise calculation. In Malay words, perhitungan saja. Tapi kalau precise calculation tu, you can go by second. Therefore, 8 minutes, we have to delay our prayer, Fajr prayer by 8 minutes now, because precise calculation. Oh, no. It should be 8 minutes. And stars and trees prostrate, and the heaven erase and impose the balance, and that you not transgress within the balance. So this is the balance. If you exceed that balance, there will be pollution. The balance is oxygen in our atmosphere is 20.8%. That is balance. You cannot say, oh, it's too little. Why not we make it 30? We flush more oxygen to the atmosphere, so it became 30 in terms of percentage. No, it will not balance. Why carbon dioxide is only 0.04? Why not 0? It will not balance. Yeah, the balance is already there, created. And this is the meaning of this ayah from environmental perspective. The people from legal Sharia, say for example, they look at it from legal point of view. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with it. So there is a book that I'm writing. The book is completed today. I'm not able to bring the book here. The title of the book is 40 Hadiths on Environmental Sustainability in Malay first. Last year on Skila. InsyaAllah pada 17 hari bulan, on 17th of December, insyaAllah, Sultan Nazrin will be launching this book in UTM KL. So siapa yang ada kelapangan datang. The book is too thick. I think it's about 800 pages long. Yeah, 40 hadiths. So we try to find hadiths, the 2 hadiths that mentioned by Sahibul Sama'ah tadi also described in great detail, I would say. Okay, what is the impact? People say, what is 2 degrees Celsius? We are here, say for example, 20 degrees. So I would say that this is 21 degrees C in this room. If you go out, it is 30 degrees C. the differential of 9 degrees C. So for many people say, what is the difference between 1 degree C, 2 degrees C? This is localized temperature differential. But if you talk about holistic temperature differential, it's different. Yeah. What is the temperature of your body? Anyone? Huh? Cannot be 37. 37, you are already getting cold, fever. Yeah. It must be 36.5, 36.7. If you exceed 0.5 degrees C, you are already taking Panadol or you start seeing your physician. If it is 2 degrees C, you are in emergency room, intensive care unit. So we are talking about the world with 2 degrees C temperature rise. You can see that in this very simple illustration with 0.8 degrees C effects. C is not carbon, C is Celsius. The name of a Danish physicist by the name Andreas Celsius. So when I start talking to many people, including people at large, sometimes people say, oh, you say about C. That is not carbon. It's not 0.8 degree carbon, 0.8 degrees Celsius. It is the measurement of temperature. Carbon is something else. We'll talk about it later. If you have 0.8, what's going to happen? Arctic ice cap will start melting. It is in the form of solid. Suddenly, the solid became liquid. And what's happening after that? The liquid form will remain in sea, in ocean. They will not turn back into solid. I have to repeat. Okay? When it is became solid, it will remain on shore. When the temperature is rising, they became the solidified form of water became liquefied. And it will remain in ocean forever. And because of that, the volume of water in sea, in ocean, will rise, will increase. And the impact is this. When high tide, you know that there is high tide, low tide all the time, the water will penetrate to the system very far. So for example, I give this example very often. In 1962, when we built PUB water treatment plant in Kota Tinggi, the highest water tide at that time can reach only about 17 kilometers from the river mouth of Johor. But now it is more than Kota Tinggi. So by default, the water that we have in the river is not drinkable, cannot be potable water by treatment. You have to change the treatment to become desalination, which is very costly, or you have to have a barrage. So we built barrage. I was a responsible person, or they call it SO, supervisory officer, on a project, a barrage of Johor that cost us close to 100 million. You just imagine if you have 47 rivers that rely on people, the country rely for water intake for potable purposes, drinking water treatment plant. It means that all of them require investment of between 50 to 100 million each, times 47, just to protect the fresh water from becoming brackish. The moment salt water entered our river, the river became no longer fresh water, it became brackish water. Yeah, it's not saline. Saline is river in water in sea. Water in river, which is which has some higher concentration of sodium, is called brackish water. So brackish water is to be treated. It's very expensive. And the second point, with 0.8, you can see a lot of earthquake happening now, including in Ranau, in Malaysia. From the geological survey record of Malaysia, this region, there was no trace of earthquake for the past many thousand years, except in 2015. And now it is repeating almost every month in Ranau, in Kota Kinabalu. So people ask, what's going on? And the best explanation is climate change. Yeah, you just imagine if, say, for example, the temperature is up to 2 degrees C. There is a report by Sir Nicholas Stern. The report, I forgot, the economics of the economics of climate change. He's now in University College of London. He was chief economist of World Bank. After he completed his work with World Bank, he wrote this book. And he says that we must invest now with 1% GDP per country. Otherwise, we will fail to act now. We will be suffering spending up to 20% of GDP. Yeah, so this is happening. Say, for example, now Indonesia is now migrating the capital city from Jakarta somewhere else because they are expecting by 2040, Jakarta will be underwater during high tide. Yeah, I have to clarify my words. During high tide. Singapore is building 4-meter cover throughout the shore of Singapore. 4 meter tinggi tu tau. Yeah. Starting now. So I spoke to the minister in charge. He said that yes, we agreed with the study and we are acting now. Otherwise, Singapore will be underwater. So that's a very big issue that we are facing at the moment. More than simple thing that we were talking about Kim, about ini. It's more than that. And what's going to happen if, say, for example, global warming worse than that, worse than when expected, say, for example, by 2 degrees C, the war created by global warming is worse than nuclear war. Yeah, global nuclear war, worse than that, because we don't have places to go. You nak pergi Singapore, Singapore tenggelam. Nak pergi Indonesia, Indonesia tenggelam. So, is that kiamat? We don't know. So today, the consequences of war, about 300 million people are migrated to other places because of political war. In many Muslim countries, in Syria, in Rohingya, in Afghanistan, in many places, because people want to escape war, they migrate. But by 2040, 3 times more people will be migrated because of climate change. Yeah, so this is a serious issue. This conference, this seminar is hugely significant for us to understand what is our role and what can we do. This is what the minister mentioned, Zaharul Fasadu fil Barri wal Bahr bima kasabas aydin nas liyudhiqahum ba'dallazi amilu la'allahum yarji'un. There are 3 components in this ayah, Surah Ar-Rum 41. Corruption has appeared throughout the land and sea. So many people said corruption, this is bribery. That is economic corruption. There are social corruption, such as zina. People are not complying with some Islamic laws, say, for example. But there are also ecological laws that people are not complying. Mizan, from ecological perspective, that people are not able to understand. So this is what we have here. By reasons of what the hands of people have earned, so he may let them taste part of the consequence of what they have done. So Allah will make sure that we are suffering from that. Otherwise, we are not realizing what's happening. And perhaps, they will return. So, amilul allahum yarji'un. So, 3 things. What I'm here to talk about is about what corruptions have we done and how we can realize it and how we can return to Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. This is the most important slide, okay? Kalau you nak tangkap gambar ke, nak Stalin ke, siapa yang tertidur tu kejutkan dia sekarang, ambil slide ni. Yeah? The rest of the slide are not as important as this slide. Environmental sustainability, I'm holding a chair at UTM called Professorial Chair on Environmental Sustainability. So the major currency is carbon. The underlying principle, the denominator is carbon. You can trade carbons, you can evaluate based on carbon perspective. And it is global pollution load. It is not localized. I mentioned just now, regional, localized, or global. So what can we do? Yeah. Number one is reduce carbon emission. Many things not related to carbon emission you thought, but it is. Say, for example, using of water. The minister mentioned about 3 minutes showering. I'm popular because of 3 minute showering. Yeah, because I take shower less than 3 minutes. Shower when the water apa kena apa touch your head. Why? The more you use water consumption, the more water resources required. The more dams need to be built. The more trees need to be cut. The more piping system need to be built. The more electricity is required because they have to pump your water to your place. Therefore, you get sufficient pressure. Yeah, and I have to tell you frankly, when I was Secretary General of Ministry in charge of water, there are water companies are not able to pay the electricity bill. The water company not able to pay the electricity bill. Yeah, because their operating cost is more than 60% electricity. What electricity has got to do with water? The more water you use, the more electricity required, the more fossil fuel will be burned. The more coal will be burned. The more, why coal? Because it's the cheapest. Otherwise, you are not voting for that government. Yeah. So you need cheaper. Everything must be cheaper. Forget about other things. Yeah. Because I don't want to pay more than this. So as a result, only coal can be used. I give you an example. If you use hydroelectric, the cost of the electricity per unit is about 80 to 1 ringgit. 80 cents to 1 ringgit per unit of kilowatt hour. Yeah. If you use gas, it will cost you up to 45 cents. If you use coal, it's only 24%. So in our energy mix, we call it energy mix, we have some component of coal, some component of hydroelectric, some components of say, for example, gas, and some component of solar. Solar cannot be more than, I would say, that 12%. Why? Because solar in Malaysia is only good between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Provided it is not raining that day. If it is raining, gone, zero solar. So assuming that particular day there was no input from solar, you have to have a backup of 12%. And this backup is very expensive backup. Why? Because you don't know whether tomorrow is going to rain or not. And the cost of this is very expensive. It's not 50 cents, more than 50 cents per unit. So you have to understand all this. Yeah. So the more you use water for your shower, the more carbon will be emitted. Dosa besar siapa yang mandi lama. So you are helping to make this world hotter and warmer. Because the first approach is to reduce carbon emission. The second is to increase carbon sink. What is carbon sink? The biggest carbon sink is tree. Therefore, there are 2 hadiths mentioned by Sahibul Samaha just now. It's about planting trees. There is no hadith sahih explaining the encouragement of cutting trees. It's all about planting trees. Yeah. So in the book that we have written on 40 hadiths is all about planting. So what is the methodology? Methodology is green technology and green cover. It's very easy. What is the system? The system is what we call as green or low carbon lifestyle and green economy or circular economy. So this is the framework. I think this is the most important slide. If you want to sleep, you can sleep after this. Okay. If you want to go to toilet, you can go to toilet after this. Okay, I'm doing a lot of research and education on this. Okay, this is Sustainable Development Goal. It has 17 goals. So forget about that because a lot of people talking about it. So last few weeks, The Sustainable Development Solution Network, chaired by uh, Jeff Sack, Professor Jeff Sack from University of Columbia, um, published Roadmap to 2050, a manual for nations to decarbonize by mid-century. What does it mean by decarbonize? It means that we are not relying on high emission of carbon to grow. I repeat, decarbonize means relying on economic system where carbon emission is to be lowered. Ya, kalau ditanya lagi lain pula definitionnya. Okay, how can we do that? Number one is zero carbon electricity. So how can we get zero carbon electricity? We can use a lot of solar. Say, for example, from 12% to 20%. It means that you have to have a backup of 20%. Yeah, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We have to have a lot of biomass. Biomass also produces a lot of carbon. Yeah, we have to use a lot of hydro, say for example. So hydro is very expensive in Malaysia because we have to build dams, and dam is massively expensive. Yeah, I involved in making dams, planning for making few dams in the country. God, yeah, I don't want that experience to be shared with you on the complexity of it. Electrification of end users, green synthetic fuels, smart power grid, materials efficiency, and sustainable land use. So these are very broad pillars of climate mitigation. Okay, forget about it. How to change? So this is the core component of EcoShift. EcoShift is taken from my conversation with Professor Chan Kim. He was so famous for blue ocean strategy. And 2 years ago, he wrote a book on blue ocean shift. He said that strategy is little thing, shift is bigger thing. Shift is cultural and whatnot. So I had 8 years relation with him, and I have to meet him almost every month and to talk to him, blah, blah, blah. And when I want to have a book, we agreed that the book is called EcoShift. Yeah, so that is in relation to blue ocean shift. It's okay. Assuming you want to have some impact, assuming you want to do something, the best thing for you not to do big thing is just to be rhetorical. You just say orang sana tak betul, orang sini tak betul, stupid, celaka, mampus engkau, blah blah blah. So that is at least you can do something. Yeah, but there is no outcome, there is no output. Or we become very legalistic. Why not we implement this? We have some rules that people can follow. So you can have some action taken. At least lawyers will be very happy. They have some work to do. Yeah. But the outcome isn't there. What is the difference between outcome and output? Anyone? Anyone? Siapa yang nak tidur tadi? Boleh jawab. What is the difference between outcome and output? Yeah? Outcomes, the minister mentioned about education. So outcome can be done through education, through religious teaching, understanding. But it might not be an action. Say, for example, people performing Hajj in Mecca, they want to purify themselves. Ya, menangis-nangis, makan, buang. Ya, the dirtiest part of Mecca is during Hajj. If you happen to walk from Mina to Mecca after your stoning, you can see how dirty Mecca was. Yeah, so that's the situation. And I was telling myself, what's happening? The book that we wrote together, I wrote together with Professor Zulkifli Yusuf. He's Sheikh, I'm not Sheikh. You have to ask him about all the nitty-gritty of the Islamic teaching on it. We think that we were not told that cleaning your place is also part of fardu ain. I repeat, we were not told that cleaning your place, cleaning your water resources, cleaning your ecosystem. What else? Holy places like Makkah and Medina. This is holy places, not only for you to if you say something bad, it is multiplied by many, many thousands of sinful acts. And if you are make Medina and Mecca dirty, that will be the same. Yeah. So we thought that we need to do something. So we decided to write a book, and the book, Alhamdulillah, I think the best journey in my life to write that book. Yeah. So I don't want to. So if you want to get big thing, this is needed: public participation, volunteerism, and lifestyle. So this is mentioned in the book. So my line of thinking is changed. Then I'm not interested to form a new law, to meet minister, to come up with new proposal, wasting a lot of time. I had on my own capacity written about 30 policy for the country for the past 15 years or so as master drafter, and I'm very sad that not even half of them implemented properly. Yeah, so I don't want to be in that situation uh, again. So this is a framework, EcoShift. If you have something, you plan for it, and you have to strategize because you don't have all the money that you require, you don't have all the people, and you don't have everything that you need. So you have to be very focused. Okay, I want to this framework, 3 years, I just want to work on this. Say, for example, in my case, I just want to work on two parts. One is river rehabilitation. Second, on toilet cleanliness. Why toilet cleanliness? You know, if you are not able to clean your toilet, forget about cleaning ocean. Yeah. Forget about cleaning and maintaining our ice cap at the pools going to be solidified. Because you cannot see them. You cannot benefit from them. But your toilet is where you spend your time, probably 10 times a day. And this is where you do your tahara. If your tahara is not valid, the whole thing will be accepted by God. Say, for example, if your toilet is dirty and splash on your clothes, your Zohar prayer gone, your Asr prayer gone. So we have to make our toilet clean. And from there, we can ask people, why not, after cleaning toilet, we start cleaning our river tributaries first. Yeah, especially riverbank, and benefit from it. And we implement an action. What is needed in Muslim community is action. I put 3 times action. The rest are all once. Action, 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 because Muslims are fighting each other, killing each other because they are rhetorical in nature. No action done, but 10,000 people died already. Yeah, because they say that this is better than that one. Why not we do some actionable thing? Improve. Oh, so difficult? No. Make sure that toilets closest to you. If you are working in an office or school or campus, make sure that you adopted one toilet with your friend. Clean the toilets. Oh, ini bukan kerja saya. Tak apalah. This is not my job to clean the environment. It's not my job to clean the attics. It's not my job. But remember, Zaharul Fasadul fil bar wabah bima kasabat aydinas. Yes, the charity is all done when we have clear intention. And then we improve from time to time. That is what we call outputs at the end. Outputs is for people like us, for people like me. You can get your KPIs done, your performance appraisal done because you spend 1 billion a year. Good, no corruption, money spent well, projects no delay, blah, blah, blah. That is output. But people are not able, say for example, to understand the importance of water in their life. You know that KL is divided into 5 regional sewerage network. You know that? Kuala Lumpur is the only developing nations in the world that having that in the world. Yeah, no other countries in the world. In London, partly in London, it's not sewered as well. Partly in the US, mostly in the US, it's not sewered. Not even in Japan because of earthquake. They cannot have long pipes. The pipe will be broken on daily basis because of the earthquake. But yes, KL, my question, do you know that? Are your toilets and kitchen connected to the sewer network? Siapa tak tahu ni berdosa. Ya. Sebab you are not able to protect the environment. First, you have to understand the situation. Kan tadi ayat tu kata apa? Mula sekali corruption occurred. Yang keduanya nak tahu. You have to understand the situation. If you are not able to understand the situation, tak apalah ada orang lain fikir. Itu yang jadi. That's what's happening. And then we rectify. We act upon it. So we spend, say for example, the closest to here is in Pantai. That is 1 billion. I was the in charge person to sign that to make sure that it was completed. Yeah. And then we are now building another one close to Damansara. The one in central KL is close to UTM, belakang UTM. And these facilities is all minimum of 1 billion ringgit Malaysia. Just the sewage treatment plant, not the sewer network. So if you include sewer network, probably 70% sewer, and then the wastewater treatment plant is another 30%. That is the scale of what we are talking about. Huge. When you are not connected, as a result, the sewer network is 40% empty. The size is this big, and because you are not connected, if you are connected, you are paying only 8 ringgit. It's nothing, chicken feed. Yeah, they require 25 ringgit to break even. Therefore, we have to give them subsidy, to give IWK subsidy. So this is what I have done for the past 10 years, 15 years, and I'm sick. I'm telling you, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. I'm going to talk why everyone must make sure that they understand that sewer is needed and connected. Whatever payment required, I'll pay, because this is my amal jariah. This is my responsibility. It's my role. So that require what we call public participation, informing, consulting. Siapa nak tanya, boleh tanya. Saya cepat ni, saya nak habiskan. Makan pukul 4 Yeah. Informing, consulting, collaborating, and empowering. So what is to be changed is habit and behavior. Yang kata, kita kena mindset. Mindset nombor 1 ni, planning. Planning mindset. What is to be changed? Habit and behavior. What is habit? What is behavior? Anyone? Cepat, saya belanja makan apa ni? Ya? Habit. Habit, you do it without thinking. Habit is subconscious mind. You do it without thinking. And mind you, habit is 90 to 95% of what we do in life. Every day you switch off your light when you, in order to go to your bathroom, you take shower half an hour. But this is all habit. Yeah, you don't have to think about it. Ya, tak ada orang nak pergi pejabat pakai waist, ada orang pergi pejabat pakai waist. Yeah, because it's already your habits. Yeah, so this is very important. So that is to be changed. The question is how to change. So this can be covered by environmental policy. This is ecological philosophy. So you have to go to the people. You have to go to the cultural component of the people. And this is what Islamic ecosophy is all about. So I don't have time to talk about it. You can read. This is summary of many of my books that I've written recently. So every diagram, this diagram, one book. The other diagram is another book. You have to explain it in detail. So from Islamic ecosophy, so we have 5 components. Why I selected 5 components? I and Professor Zul selected 5 components because it addresses 5 themes that we mentioned earlier. Otherwise, it is not able to answer questions from that perspective. And we have to have 7 eco-habits. So I don't want to talk about eco-habits because I have only 5 minutes left. How to create a habit? So we have to have 5 aspects. Number 1, we have to understand what to be changed, what new habits we need, why and how. Say for example, habits of taking shower less than 3 minutes. It is habit. Some people said that if I'm not taking shower, bukannya masuk toilet, shower less than 3 minutes, rasa tak mandi. Memanglah, rasa tu is habitual. That is subconscious mind. Kita tengok hadis. Hadis berapa banyak Nabi mandi? Ada hadis ke? Ada. Tadi Sahih bersama ada sebut. Ya. Saya bersama sebut Nabi mandi dengan wuduk dengan satu cupak, satu cupak banyak mana? Satu cupak is 0.7 liter. Kalau kita ada air 1 liter, 0.7 liter. Or to be exact, 0.68 liter. Kalau satu gantang, times 4. So Nabi mandi dengan satu gantang saja. Boleh tak siapa berani cakap Nabi mandi tak sah? Nabi mandi tak bersih? Ada siapa berani cakap? Ya, itulah yang diajar. Itulah hadis yang sahih yang kita ada. So it means that we have to learn how can we conserve water. I'm not saying that you do it. I'm saying that is a standard put forward by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah, so we have to learn why Nabi is doing that. Start with baby steps. Do it regularly. Siapa nak mandi balik ni 3 minit, mandi. Why 3 minutes? Because every minute you require 3 liter of water. If you take shower 3 minutes, it means that 10 liter. 10 liter is a lot already. Malaysian, in average, we are using more than 200 liter day per capita of water. And international recommended standard is 160. Singapore 152. Germany is 148. You kata, dia tak mandi, dia tak ambil semayang. Okay lah, kita tambah lagi. So if you take shower 10 liter twice, so it's only 20 liters. Yeah, take wudu 1 liter each time. So katalah you sentiasa nak berwuduk 10 kali ambil wuduk sehari. It's only 10 liters. The question is when you take wudu without not conscious about the amount of water you use. Remember, the more water you use, the more electricity required. The more coal will be burned, will be consumed, and the more carbon emission will be emitted. So the third one is do it regularly. Kenapa 40 kali saya pun tak tahu sebab kita pergi Mekah 40 hari kan. So kalau buat 40 kali, insya-Allah dia akan lekat pada kita. That's what I was told. So from day one, I learned something. My parents always say that do it 40 times. So I am asking you, this is from my parents, do it 40 times. Okay? Don't ask. Do it efficiently and effectively and create a community of learners and implementers. So this is how we create habits. Whatever habits you want to create. Yeah, this is what people do on daily basis. This is Japan a month ago. After Hagibis typhoon. You can see that? Where's the difference? There is no floating bottles, no floating debris. This is the underground. It's a swimming pool. Yeah? It's a swimming pool. Imagine during Hajj, there was a flooding. You just imagine. So people would like to see actionable implementation by Muslim, not your rhetorical vibrancy. So why this happened? Number one, clean habits and behavior. I put it because they cannot. Japanese in general, they clean 1/3 of their time every day. Say for example, if you go to Japanese school, there is no janitor. Children must clean their toilets, clean their school. No janitor. There's only one janitor, which is to switch on and switch off your school. The rest is all done by children and teachers. So as a result, they don't want to mess the school. Why? They have to clean it after this. Ya, kenapa dia bawa kasut letak kat luar? Sebab lepas ni nanti dia kena clean. Baik-baik kat satu tempat aja kotor. It's only one place which is dirty, not the rest of the school. Second, workable regulatory framework. Istilah saya guna. I'm a drafter tau. I'm a drafter of legal documents. Workable regulatory framework. So a lot of our regulatory framework is not workable. Why? It is too ideal. Say for example, you want to build the first incinerator in Malaysia. It's too ideal. You must no emission, no everything. No everything. Okay. As a result, instead of 250 million, we have to spend 1 billion. Okay? Because we need everything. Must perfect. So as a result, you have to pay. So government said that we can pay only the first 2 years of the operation and we can include that part of the contracts. So we do it. After 2 years, People at large must pay through your assessment. So kita pun bergaduh assessment tak nak naik RM10. So as a result, there is not enough sufficient money to run the incinerator. As a result, incinerator to close down. Yes. Why? Because we are too idle. In Japan, it's okay. We build whatever that we can work on it, and then we improve every time, every day, every week. 5% improvement every year. So this is the concept of Kaizen in Japan. And at the end of the day, there is no emission after 10 years. Why? Because they keep on improving. And people will be invited, and people ask, kenapa masih ada lagi emission? Because we don't have money. Okay. We increase our assessment by 10%, just to make sure that you have enough money to run the system. So in Malaysia, we don't do that. We thought that God can help us to run the incinerator. And that will happen to our sewage treatment plant. Mark my words. Yeah? Because it is too good. Yeah? And then you are paying only RM8. 40% are not connected. Dah yang connected tu pun bayar RM8 je. In Singapore, for example, if you buy, your charge for water, drinking water is 100 Sing dollar, the charge for sewerage is 100, provided you have no toilet at home. You have only one toilet, sorry. You have only one toilet at home. If you have second toilet, you will be charged 15% more. So your drinking water is 100, your sewerage connection is 115. So total amount of water bill is 215. If you have 3 toilets, 30%. Rumah saya ada 8 toilet. So 8 toilet. Kita bayar toilet lebih banyak daripada bayar air. So this is the calculation in many countries. But in Malaysia, you ada 10 toilet ke, 80 toilet ke, bayar RM8. Masuk akal ke? So EcoShift, you don't have to wait for government to act on it. If you ask government to act on it, after 10 years, the things are still the same. The first government has in mind is to remove all the settlers, illegal settlers. So there will be a fight against the government. This is from Malaysian perspective. And after that, a company will be awarded, so people will sabotage the company. Why? The company is a proxy of someone, they will say. Blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the day, no one will be attached to the project. Everyone will detach from the project. And this is not my project, this is the company's project. After the completion of that, whatever they want to build, and guarantee period of 2 years, things will come back to this nature. So the approach done through EcoShift is to make sure that people take lead. And this is what we are trying to do through River. What we are trying to do in Klang River and Langat River in particular, we would like to give value to it by having trail along the river. So you, every afternoon, every morning, say for example, your parents or yourself can jog around it, and every year we'll organize eco marathon or something like that, so people come to the river and see what they can improve on the river ecosystem at large. So this is what I have in mind. I am very little now in what I want to do in life, but I think this is the correct path, easier, and then I can do it on my own without government funding, without politicians around me, or without people like you not supporting me. I can do it on my own. Yeah, you can see Afros have done it, and then this is the model now people are trying to emulate. Cost to government, zero ringgit. And people come to the beach because they want to exercise instead of just playing tennis or swinging on your golf course. You at least give meaning to what you do at the end of the day. Ya, kalau dibuat dengan lillahi ta'ala, you get it as ibadah. So this is what we are trying to do. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Prof. Zaini Ujang, for this very enlightening presentation. I think I know the time now is lunchtime. I think I don't know whether we have time for question and answer, but I think the most important part is it is our responsibility. It is everyone's responsibility that we have to protect our planet. I think like Prof. Zaini, he focused on 2 things: river and toilets. And I think that will be something that we can take back home. We may start with toilet first because it is in our house. And I think the most important part, if you go to any restaurant also, you will look into two things: the kitchen and the toilets. If the kitchen and the toilets are well kept, then the restaurant will entitle the grade A. Sometimes they bribe the local council to get the grade A. But anyway, I think that would be something. But I think with time constraints, I just leave it as it is. Perhaps if you have questions, uh, you can ask directly to Prof. Zaini, or you can email to him. I think this is a very good move. I think he gave us. I think I have seen quite a number of young people here. I think you are the future. Perhaps it's not only for the young. I think we also, I think, got excited, and we like to take action on this matter. With that, I would like to thank Prof. Zaini Ujangging. Thank you very much.